Hello everyone, this is task 3 of my internship, IPL Exploratory Analysis of this dataset, and the difficulty marked in the TSF grip list of the tasks given there is advanced. Okay, so this was a bit difficult for me because I usually design algorithms. I've never done exploratory analysis of a dataset, and I would not negate the fact that I did take some help from the internet and specifically Kaggle. And so I would suggest you all to do the same if you are stuck on a specific problem, and if you want to learn about group by, and if you want to learn about log and ilog, I would suggest you to go ahead and find different types of data sets on Kaggle and just analyze them. There's nothing wrong with taking reference from code, but it is not okay for you to just trademark it and just say that this code is yours. I have taken some reference, in this specific notebook, and I will be marking it where I have used certain code that is not mine. Okay, so let's begin. So for the analysis, we'll be using pandas, seaborn, numpy, and matplotlib. Okay, let us begin. Just a good image for you all to relate to. This is Yeah, that's that. So what we have to do is we have to perform exploratory data analysis on the data set here, and we have to find the performance of every player. So let's just say that you are a sports analyst, right? As a sports analyst, and specifically if you are a sports analyst for cricket in IPL, so what would you analyze? Of course, we're going to analyze the performance of every player as in every batsman, every fielder, and every bowler. So for batsmen, we have the average and we have the number of centuries, we have the most runs, right? For a bowler, we have to identify the economy of a bowler, we have to identify the wickets taken by a bowler, we have to identify if there were any 5 wicket hauls, just wickets in general. And then finally, for fielders, we need to analyze the runouts, what who was on the non-striker end and how many runouts was a fielder able to implement and how many catches did a fielder take. Okay, so the data sets that have been provided to me are matches.csv and deliveries.csv. You can find these two data sets on Kaggle, and yeah, so we're going to read these two data sets here, and this is just the top 6 rows of the deliveries dataset. So first I will be analyzing the deliveries.csv file, and then I will analyze matches.csv. So first things first, we are going to replace the zero value. So when I read this data set, I saw that there were certain missing values here and nan values here. And also there was no specific string for a not out person. So under the dismissal kind, player dismissal and dismissal kind, we had different types of dismissals like cotton bold, stumped, but there was no other, you know, label or description for not out. It was just zero. So you can replace it using dot fill na, right, like this. Or what you can do is just you can replace all the dismissal kind, all the things where it was just zero, and then you can just replace it with not out, just like I've done here. So you take the data frame, you take the column like dismissal kind, player dismissed, and fielder. So the number of columns we have here are these. So we have different columns here. We have wide runs, is super over. So these are all the different features that we'll be analyzing. We have 21 columns here, and we have more than 1.5 179,000 rows. So this is just again just to get the grasp of the data set and just to get what the CSV file entails. So this is for replacing all the infinite values, right? That's that. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the dismissal kinds. These are all the dismissal kinds, and this is just a one-dimensional array. Okay. Now the data here is this, and now we're going to analyze the data set here with having replaced all the non-NaN values and all the infinite values. Now we're going to actually analyze the data set from here on. So batsman count, this counts the different batsmen and the different instances of a specific batsman that have been highlighted in that CSV file. So This is just to get the count of the batsman. So this is very redundant, and it is just going to return the rows. So it is not very helpful. As a sports analyst, or as just an analyst in general, I would highly recommend all the people that are new to the field of analysis and exploratory analysis in general to please go in depth and study about group by functions and study about log and ilog, different parameters associated with a specific player. So let's just say that you want to find out the performance or to analyze the performance of a specific player. Let's just say David Warner, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the log function here. And what the difference between log and ilog is that one is label based and the another one is just index based, right? So that's the only difference between log and ilog. So if I want to find whether David Warner has scored more than 1,000 runs, I can do it something like this. Data of batsman is equals to David Warner. This is just to filter out all the specific rows with David Warner, and the sum of all the total runs is greater than 1,000. So we get that B1 true, which means yes, he has scored runs more than 1,000. The next is dismissal kind counts displayed as a data frame. Now these are all the dismissal kind. So initially we just had a one-dimensional array, but that wasn't very helpful. So in order to get a very comprehensible data set, what we're going to do is just we're going to group by using dismissal kind, and we're going to count the dismissal kind, and we're going to display it as a data frame like we have done here, right? So again, you can use different functions here like count plot. You can use group by function, to analyze the data set based on the total run scored, based on the individual batsman. You can do lots of things here. I've also made a link just right here. So what you can do as well is you can group by every batsman for a specific team, right? And then you can also calculate the sum for every batsman. So let's just say that a batsman is A. Ashish Reddy and he played for Deccan Chargers, which is now um been dissolved, and Deccan Chargers is no more a team in IPL. But again, since the dataset is from 2008 to 2019, so that's why it's there. Try new things with the group by function. Group different columns together. Use aggregate functions if you must. Right. So this is very redundant and it's not relevant to the analysis here. But I just did this so that you guys can understand the importance of the aggregate functions. Right. So we have the mean runs and we have the standard deviation. So this makes no sense here. But again, if you're new, I will suggest you that you try out this stuff. So plot for every batsman along with the scores. So I grouped by batsman and based on the size I have plotted this. Let me, yeah. So this is a plot for the batsman and the runs scored by the batsman, the total runs, right? So this is a very large image. That's why I cannot show it entirely. So I'll just move on. Okay, so now we're going to group by the bowlers. This is where it gets interesting, right? Yeah, another fun GIF for you all to relate to. I don't know why I put it here. Anyways, so this is the condition. This is where it gets serious. This is where it gets to the level where you will be like, okay, this is getting a little bit fun as well and hard as well. So the condition is df dot dismissal kind is not equal to run out. So what we're doing is that we're taking a variable and we are using a condition in which the dismissal kind is not run out, it is not retired hurt, and it is not out, you know, which means that it is purely bowled or stumped, like it's just a wicket, you know. So here we are just calculating the wickets, you know. The pie chart here, it represents the wickets that are taken every over, and we can see that in the death over there are the most number of wickets. It makes sense, right? Because in the death you need to, as a batsman, you need to score more. So batsmen take more risky shots in order to get their team total to a competitive total. So it makes sense that in death overs the wicket number of wickets taken by a bowler is higher than the other, right? So these are all the labels and these are all the colors. You can take colors, whatever colors you like. It's not necessary to just use this specific combination. You can take whatever you like. Now I'm going to count the dismissals. So these are all the types of dismissals that have happened in IPL so far. like bold 1581, caught 5348, caught and bold 211. Right, so these are all the different types of dismissals that have happened in IPL so far. Now, let's talk about the performance of batsmen in death overs. Now, when we talk about death overs, we say, okay, death overs as in more than 15, right? Yeah. How do we implement the condition for that? Simple. All you have to take the data frame and you have to say, okay, df dot over that specific column greater than 15, and we have to filter out all the dismissal kinds that are not these, because we're just focusing on the bold one, right? So we get the data set here and you can analyze it. How to get the most number of balls bowled by a bowler in IPL? Simple. You just group them by a bowler and then you just count them, and then you can sort them or don't sort them. It's purely your decision. But Harbhajan Singh has bowled the most number of balls. So it's approximately 520 or 30 overs that he has bowled in IPL. That's a lot of overs. Yeah. So most centuries by a batsman, Chris Gayle tops that list. Again, this is purely based on group by and lock. That is it. If you are able to practice and if you're able to master the group by function and the lock and the I locks, you will be able to do exploratory analysis of these kind of data sets in a zilch. Right? So practice these and you will be able to do it. Again, checking the performance of players on the field, we have the run out, we have the catches, and we have the stumpings. So for runouts, we have the different types of runouts. For catches, we have the different types of catches here. For every delivery, and for stumped, we have the stumpings here. Now I will be doing an inner join of the two data sets provided just to get a better analysis. So I have done a join here, and how equals to inner means we are doing an inner join. This is just to implement. This is just to signify what kind of join I'll be doing. So this is just inner. And here we get the best fielders in terms of catches. So for every fielder, we have the number of catches, right? The best for the season 2019 is Rishabh Pant. So if you want to find out the best wicket keeper and the best person, who's better behind the stumps in terms of catches, then I would say it's Rishabh Pant for 2019. The total runs of each player is this. Most runs in a season 2019 is this. So again, these are all based on lock conditions. Again, all of these things are based on the lock conditions, right? Everything here is based on lock and group by function. So we have the top wicket takers, we have more than 20 wickets in a season, we have 5 wicket hauls here, we have the economy of the ballers here. You cannot calculate the economy because there is a mean function and mean is not the economy. But again, using the mean function, you can calculate the total runs given by a bowler every ball that a bowler has bowled. So Ravindra Jadeja concedes 1.08 runs every ball. So that is approximately equal to 6.2 or 6.3 of an economy, which is I think good for an IPL match. This is just matches.csv. So the most matches that have been played by a specific team is for CSK. I have the condition here, right here. Don't worry if you are unable to understand it, because of course I'm not doing it for the explaining purpose. I'm just merely uh, you know directing you through all the stuff that I have done in this Jupyter notebook. I might make a video about certain analysis like this in the future, but again, I'm sorry if you're looking at this video and trying to understand what these queries mean. I would like to apologize, but this video is not for that purpose. This is just for my task purpose. So yeah, but again, I will be providing the link to this notebook, to the GitHub repository in the description below. Make sure to check it out, and if it's helpful, yeah, then so this is exactly where I took reference from Kaggle, because I had a hard time analyzing this. So most wins by an IPL team, right here. Most losses by an IPL team. I beg your pardon. This is not lost. This is loss. Most matches. Okay, so this is right. Most matches lost by a team. We have Royal Challengers Bangalore topping the list, which is my favorite team. Analysis of matches or CSV based on toss. So Chennai Super Kings has won the most toss, and these are again for batting first and batting second, and yeah, that's that. So again, this was just a quick run up through my entire code